So, Helldivers, I hear that some of you are having a hard time on D10 Cyberstan. Well, I'm here to give you some tips and tricks to help you survive just a little bit longer. So let's first start off with those pesky cyborgs because, yes, they're bringing new units to the battlefield and not everyone is as familiar with their mechanics yet. So kicking things off with the radical, and I kind of mean that literally because these martial artists will come running at you with spinning kicks and flying knees, and they are no joke. And once they get you down to the ground, they're going to try to use that shotgun to take you out pretty quick. So you're going to want to dodge, you're going to want to get some space between you. But how do you take them out efficiently? Well, obviously the best area is going to be to focus firing on their head because it's going to do critical damage, going to pop that little noggin of theirs, and they're going to fall down dead. But you could always target the body until, they stop moving, or throw some bombs at them, or anything else to kind of, put space between you and them. But friends, make sure that you're not getting ganged up on, and if you are trying to get to cover, you're trying to reposition very quickly so you don't get overrun. Then moving on to the heavy armored agitators. Now these field commanders will go and take control of the battlefield very quickly, making automatons and the other cyborgs around them go focus fire on you, go zerg you, and they are relentless until you are dead or you've killed them. But how's the best way to deal with these guys? Well, because they're heavy armor, your bullets can be bouncing off quite a lot, and I see a lot of people trying to go for the head. That's not going to be the best spot for these guys. Now, what I found to be their best weakness for cracking through their armor is actually going to be focus firing on their abdomen. And once you've cracked through that armor, they have, just very light skin armor, basically just flesh, and you're going to shoot right through that, and they're going to die pretty quickly. You could also, if you get behind them, shoot them in the vents, but don't be afraid. But also, friends, pro tip, if they start to run around from you and get around corners and things like that, don't follow them. They are trying to lure you out and get you killed by another group. Then moving on to the smack-talking box engine. Now, this is a controversial ad that's been put into the game. I personally love it. A lot of people are saying, hey, it's not balanced, it needs some reworks. Those rockets are so annoying because, yes, those rockets will one-shot kill you if you get hit by them. But pro tip, look at the floor. If it is lighting up yellow, GTFO, friends, do not stay there because you will die. That is, pretty common for bombs heading your way. But if you keep moving, you get around them. These guys are actually not that bad to kill. And obviously, there's several ways to do it, but let me cover a couple of my favorites. So there's a pretty common method going around, and it is very easy to pull off, friends, as long as you know you're not being targeted too much. And that is going to be get underneath the Vox engine. You know that weak spot that we showed off previously? Just blast that with about any gun over there, and that's going to damage it. That's going to make it turn off. Then target, the vents / heat sinks on the back of it. Do the same thing. It's going to overheat. And if you want for added effort to it, shoot the lights up top. That's going to do the same thing, but also make it immobilized because it's too overheated. When it is overheated from the bottom heat sinks, they're going to open up a little panel. All you got to do is throw a grenade in that, and boom, that thing is going to explode after a couple seconds, and you are all good. But there's other ways, if you want to shoot it in the back or up close from a recoilless a couple times, smack it with a hammer, go at it with a chainsaw, or even an ultimatum and some C4. You're going to have a great time with taking this thing out. Obviously, there's even more, but if we're going to go focus on long range, let's talk about that. So one of the most easiest and obvious new tools that we have to use against it is going to be the Bastion tank. Now this tank can pretty much 2 or 3 shot any of the boxes that come your way. All you got to do is have a good team with you. You can also throw down the anti-tank emplacement, and if you have the protection of a shield around you, just sit in that chair and just, launch some shots on it, and you're going to have an easy time. But the unexpected contender, and this one's controversial because a lot of people hate using it on the battlefield on D10, is actually going to be the Patriot exosuit. Now I know, friends, this thing can get one-shot a lot if you're unlucky when it's spawning in or even on the battlefield. But if you get this thing to spawn the right way and, you are being a little agile on your feet, you're sidestepping, you're not trying to take damage to the face, and you are actively trying to dodge, you will survive much longer. Not only will you rip through those Vox engines with your missiles that shoot out from the Patriot, but any of the men around you, you're just going to gun down in droves. As you can see through the clips over here, we're taking out Vox engines, we're taking out all the little men around us, and it's living pretty long. And honestly, friends, I can pull a lot of aggro away from my team so they could do objectives, and I could pretty much be devastating on the battlefield if I could focus in and, get a little bit lucky. So this is probably one of my newer and more favorite methods to take out those Vox engines. But let's talk about taking on D10 itself. Well, friends, obviously there's a lot of new mechanics, and the difficulty is a little turned up. But you do have to remember, this is a new biome, there's going to be a lot of new things to learn, but an interesting new mechanic that you can leverage to your benefit is going to be actually popping in and out of the city on command. Well, if you look for those little exit, arrows on your map, they'll show different sewer grates. You don't have to always get in and out of the cracks in the wall or out of the main gate. You can take the sewers. You can see over here, I see 2 box engines coming up. And I'm like, I can't run to these guys without being killed. Let me go through the sewers. Let me get around them. Then I go and see if it's clear, blow open the door. The box engine has no idea that I'm coming. Then I do the tricks to, just take this guy out very quickly. And boom, what would have been a very, disastrous moment for me turned into a little victory. D10 honestly is very much about guerrilla fighting. Now, you want to make sure that you are getting in and out using the terrain to your benefit, and you're doing rapid tactics of destruction. You can see over here, I'm running into the objective, I'm throwing down the Hellbomb backpack, and I'm getting the hell out of there, and I'm working my way around, making sure that not only I've taken this out and done maximum impact on it, but I'm killing all the men around me. And friends, do not be afraid to disengage. If the objective is a little too much for you or has way too many box on it, disengage for a little bit, come back, and it will still be there for you to destroy, I promise you. Don't throw all your lives away, and you'll have a much easier time doing these. But some objectives actually you're going to want to go in and hot drop on. Now, some of the objectives that I found that you want to do this one for are going to be the ones where you actually have to call in the Hellbomb, like the orbital defense cannons. You're going to want to hot drop on the one that's furthest away from the extraction point. Go in when they're completely, not paying attention. You call in that Hellbomb. Bam, it blows up. Then you get out of there and all is good. And then let's move on to the other one that's very hard for everyone, and that's going to be raise the flag. Now, in raise the flag, a lot of people are dying too much. And that is because they're not using a very obvious mechanic that has been given to us, friends. That is right. On most of these flags, if not all of them, there at least is always one area to hide in, and that is going to be the semi-enclosed wall area of a building. So you go in on the inside of this, and it has 2 openings for it, and you have 1 player or 2 players go and hold this down, the other 2 players pull aggro from the outside. When you're in there, you can cap the flag and stay protected from this box and any of the other big guys, and just murder any of the ones that come through. As you can see over here, we're shooting down Cyborg, we're shooting down automatons. All is well, we're capping the point, and eventually you will be successful, and you just have to kill the remaining men around you. But this is a pro tip for getting those pesky flag missions done. Well, what happens when all seems lost? Well, you do have the option to kind of either go out in style and take everyone with you, or tactically drop a Hellbomb and get away and destroy everything. Friends, so as you can see over here, I have a couple of Ox engines and a lot of men that are right around this corner, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm probably dead. Let me go charge them. Let me set off this Hellbomb, and I take them all with me, and that's great. It makes the whole map, a lot more clear for my friends, so I don't mind the sacrifice. Then for the extractions, obviously a lot of Oxes are going to come your way because that's what happens on D10. I will go again, either do the tricks as normal to go kill them as I've talked about before, or run at them with a Hellbomb and take them and everyone that is out along with them. It is a great tactic for clearing things, so do not forget to bring a portable Hellbomb sometimes to missions, friends. Alright friends, that's everything I have for you. Obviously we could have added a lot more tips and tricks for fighting on D10, but at the same time I wanted to keep it nice and brief because we have some cities to burn on Cyberstan. So Helldivers, I'll see you on the battlefield. Take care.